Good morning. I'm Dennis Akizuki. I'll be your chairperson for this morning's service. Before we begin, just a reminder, please no food or drinks in the hondo. Also, please either turn off your cell phones or put them on silent. Thank you very much. We will begin this morning's service with recitation of Sanbujo, which you'll find on page 24 in the large service book, followed by sutra chanting Juseige on page 23 in the small Dharma school service book, or page 93 in the large service book. The page numbers for the sutra book will be displayed on the front screen and on your monitors at home, so please follow along. Please rise now to sing the Gatha, I'm a Link in the Golden Chain, which is the third song in this yellow handout. Please remain standing for the three treasures, which you'll find on page 3 in the small Dharma School service book. I'm a link in the golden chain, harmony may we
page 3 of the small service book. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Please be seated. And now we'll have a Dharma message from Minister's Assistant, Dennis Akizuki.
Please join me in Gassho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Good to see you all here. Thank you for joining us this morning in the Hondo, and thank you for those who are joining us watching on YouTube. So the last time I was up here, which was actually not too long ago, 2 weeks ago, I talked about a little book that I kind of inherited from my aunt who passed away recently. It was the Young Buddhist Handbook, published in 1951 by the Buddhist Churches of America. It's really kind of a quick overview of Shin Buddhism. For those of you who weren't here, here's a photo of that. Here's a slide of that book. The next one, Brandon. So that's what it looks like. Very, very small, right? So after that talk, a Sangha member came up to me and said, geez, I have another old book I have at home. I said, wow, that's kind of interesting. I'd like to see it. So she brought it in last week, and here is what that book looks like. That is Daily Service. Anybody remember seeing this? A few people, right? Daily Service. I do remember this book too. I mean, I think I have a copy of it, and I looked around to see if I could find it, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, this is something that was published in like 1992, so not that long ago, also by the Buddhist Churches of America, under the supervision of now retired Reverend Carol Himaka, who served here in San Jose, I think from 87, 89. Her photo's back there, the first female minister in our history. The title was kind of self-explanatory. It talks about daily religious service. I'm not sure if anybody does a daily religious service. Anybody that was service at home every day? That's what I thought. Well, maybe. Akoshi-sensei was kind of sheepishly raising his hand. That's an example for us, right? I guess for most of us, it's more like weekly service, right? In my case, actually, I do tour services these days. So in Reverend Mikame's absence, I've been helping with, there's two services actually on Wednesday. There's a Lotus Preschool service at 10, and also there's a service in the Nokotsudo. That's the columbarium. You go out the store, that's the door there. So there are some number of Sangha members, ashes, who are there. So every Wednesday morning, there's two services, one here in the Hondo for the Lotus Preschool, and one in the columbarium in memory of all the people who are there. So the Lotus Preschool service is kind of pretty simple, right? We chant, usually I chant Juseige because it's easier for me to remember. And during the chanting, they come up and they do a shoko, they offer incense. That's followed by the golden chain. And then we usually sing a song. Usually Buddha Loves You, which they know as, when they ask, what do you want to sing? Fly, 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 because it's fly, fly, little bird, right? The other one that we sing is church bells, or another one is Amida Buddha is with me, which the kids know as happy, 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 happy. You should know that song. So for now, Common Sense is not here, I rotate with Rinpa and Sakamoto between Lotus and the Nakotsuro service. So by the way, Nakotsuro service, 10 a.m., you can go. Anyone can go to it. You don't have to have, a loved one or a friend in the Nakotsuro. These days, one person attends. So if you're interested, 10 a.m. Wednesdays, come on by, and you could have just a short service. Again, this is just a very short service, chanting shoko, and that's it. Okay, now next slide. So services like in Kyoto at Nishihonganji, our head temple, there are actually 3 services, right? Morning service, 6 a.m. There's a midday service, which is 10 a.m., and an afternoon service, which is at 2 p.m. This is a photo of the 6 a.m. service on May 11th, 2023. This is when a group of us went for the World Buddhist Women's Association conference. And so we actually walked from our hotel to Nishihonganji, so we had to wake up really early and get there by 6, which was it's a good experience. So these are services at a temple, right? So this book really is talking about services that you can do at home. Okay, so next thing. So the quote in the beginning of the introduction of this book says, "The morning and evening service before the family Butsudan," which is like the altar shrine, "has a long tradition in Jodo Shinshu. It is an important observance for cultivating the life of gratitude." And the next slide. "The order of service in this booklet is offered only as a suggestion. Daily observances should reflect the spontaneous expression of gratitude experienced in Nembutsu Shinjin." Nembutsu Shinjin. Okay, so what is that? Nembutsu is reciting Namo Amida Butsu. I take refuge in Buddha. Shinjin, the simple explanation maybe could be mind of true faith is one explanation of it. So according to my virtual friend I, or artificial intelligence, then we could look at Nembutsu Shinjin as the connection between reciting the Nembutsu and the deep, unwavering trust in the primal vow. The primal vow, all beings will be liberated and attain enlightenment. So that's what Nembutsu Shinjin could mean. Some may argue with that, but that's what I found on from AI. So the focal point, as talked about, is Butsudan, Buddhist altar. Butsudan is basically kind of a simpler version of the Onaijin here, very small. There's some of them are pretty big, some of them are very small. So a service at home would take place before the Obutsudan. Obutsudan, let's see, photo of that. Next slide. Oh, right there. So that's kind of what the Obutsudan looks like. And here is there's a template in this book, Daily Service, of what you could do in a daily service. So next slide. Gasho with Nenju. Okay, next slide. There's a little bell that you could ring. Next slide. Yep, that's a little bell that you could buy. You ring it 2 times. Ding, ding. Next slide. Sutra chanting. You could chant Juseige, which we did this morning, Junirai, or Sanbutsuge. Now, chanting, as we do here, ends with Nembutsu and echo. Nembutsu, in this case, is like Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu 6 times. And the echo is Gan Nishi Kudoku, right? So we recite the echo at the end of sutra chanting every Sunday. And interestingly, so I thought it was kind of cool. This actually has a translation, this little daily service book. So here's a translation according to the daily service book of the echo. So next slide. I vow to, I think, is that the translation or the? That's okay. Go one more. Okay. I vow to give this wonderful truth to all beings without exception, that all may attain perfect wisdom and awaken to the realm of serenity and joy. Again, I vow to give this wonderful truth to all beings without exception, that all may attain perfect wisdom and awaken to the realm of serenity and joy. Now, there are probably different translations of that, but I thought this was pretty simple for me to understand. I can understand it, so that's what that's what the end of sutra chanting we end with. Next slide. Then you do the 3 homages. I take refuge in Buddha, I take refuge in Dharma, and Dharma is the teachings of the Buddha. I take refuge in Sangha, which is the Buddhist community. So you just say those 3, right? Next slide. Then you say Nembutsu 3 times. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Next slide. You ring the bell 3 times. Ding, ding, ding. And then next slide, you gasho with your nenju. So pretty simple. That's what you could do at home if you wanted to. Something you may be able to do in 10 minutes, maybe less if you chant really, really fast. This little book includes the words and translations to Juseige, Junin, Sanbujo. Also has some Buddhist readings you could recite, and an outline for an evening service. So next slide. And this is the evening service. It's pretty much the same as the morning service, although this gives you kind of an option for doing one of the readings that's in the book. Okay, so does doing a service at home make you a better Buddhist? If you don't hold a service at home, does that make you a bad Buddhist? The answer to both of those questions is no. I think this is something maybe you should strive to do. Maybe you'd have to want to do it. You can conduct a service at home, or perhaps you can just say Nembutsu before going to sleep or when you wake up. Express your gratitude of something good or happy occasion, saying Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabu, or Namandabutsu. So, it's not a matter, I think, if you want to do this or you feel like you have to, maybe there's sometimes where you need to do something, right? And I'll give you an example of something that actually happened many, many years ago. It's in this book. I don't know if you ever read this book. Anybody read this book, American Sutra? American Sutra is a 2019 book by Duncan Williams, a professor at the University of Southern California and a Zen Buddhist monk. His book chronicles what happened to Buddhists before, during, and after the war, and how, like, an American form of Buddhism developed during that time. And I think it really illustrates something that maybe we don't think about, but for people who lived before the war, ise nisei. I mean, if you were Japanese or Japanese American, right, there was discrimination, racism against you. But if you're Japanese American, and Buddhist, that was an additional kind of strike against you in the minds of a lot of people around here, right? Because you were following a heathen religion. Right? So you're a different ethnicity, you're a different religion. So this example is, and it's recounted in the book, March 1942, after Executive Order 9066, mandating the evacuation of all Japanese Americans from the West Coast and other places. Reverend Tokumon Aoki of Los Angeles Nishihonganji, he was taken into custody by the FBI. Now, apparently the reason why he was taken into custody was his name was on a list of Japanese language teachers. So there was a list of almost 250. So all the Japanese language school teachers were taken into custody because they were Japanese language school teachers, and because I guess that's the language of the enemy, so we got to take them into custody. So his wife Hisa, she had a diary which is referenced to in this book. Hisa Aoki described how she and their 2 daughters visited him in a detention center. And she talks about how Reverend Aoki, quote, held the fingertips that the children had extended through the opening in the wire mesh. They say visitations are limited to 3 minutes, but they didn't put a time limit, and we talked without pause for about 7 minutes. unquote. So not a very long visitation, right? And you could just picture in your mind kind of the children kind of reaching out through the wire mesh, and Reverend Aoki kind of just extending his hand and touching their hands. So when Hisa Aoki and the $2 returned home, they gathered in front of their Butsudan, and they chanted verses from Shoshinge. Now, Shoshinge is a hymn written by Shinran, the founder of our kind of Buddhism. It's an expression of deep gratitude and talks about the Shin Buddhist path to awakening. So next slide. So Hisa Aoki wrote later in her diary, quote, "Only when praising the virtues of the Buddha am I able to forget the pain in my soul and feel the pleasure of peacefulness." Again, only when praising the virtues of the Buddha am I able to forget the pain in my soul and feel the pleasure of peacefulness. Okay, so that's very profound, very emotional. Some of you may think then, but she's a minister's wife. She's supposed to be doing things like that, right? You might think, she might not. It doesn't really matter. What matters is she felt compelled or decided to chant Shoshinge, and it helped her cope with a traumatic experience, okay? So maybe when I remember this passage, it kind of had a really effect on me that, wow, that's really kind of, your husband's in jail, taken away, don't know when you're going to see him or anything. What do? You go home and you chant Shoshinge. So maybe because I remember that, there was a period not too long ago when I was kind of very despondent over something. So what did I decide to do? I'm going to chant Shoshinge. Now, I can't chanting Shoshinge by myself is like, I'm not going to be able to do that because I fumble over the words. So several years ago, I found a recording by a Buddhist ministers in Japan on iTunes. Next slide. This is the CD. It's actually is a CD. It's a group Namanders, like Namanabsu, get it? Namanders. And it says, I think the translation at the top is, I think it's you, me, and Namo Amidabas, or me, you, Namo Amidabas. I forget what it is, but it's a Buddhist minister. And so actually, the Shoshinge here is chanted by all female ministers, which I thought was more calming. So this did calm me down and put me in a better frame of mind and kind of accepting, maybe a little more acceptance of that change that caused me to become depressed. Now, you don't have to have a home service, do a home service to practice Jodo Shinshu at home, right? As I said, you can just Gassho, recite the Nembutsu in front of your Butsudan. If you don't have a Nembutsudan, you could just do Namo Amidabatsu. Like I said, before going to sleep, when waking up, before going to sleep, like an expression, gratitude for everything that's happened that day. When you wake up, glad for the new day. So we can, so think about that, right? I don't think, does anybody do any expression of at home ever? Some people do. Okay, so that's good. I think, for Shin Buddhism to do something for us, I think we need to take it out of this service here once a week and apply it somehow to our daily lives. And that's up to you kind of how to apply it. But, the most important thing is, and the final slide is, just say it. Just say it. Say Namo Amidavatsu, right? I think that's the most important thing for us as Shin Buddhists, is to feel that at some point in our life, in gratitude, to say Namo Amidavatsu. You don't need to say it 3 times. You don't need the Gassho. You could say it once. You don't even have to say Namo Amidavatsu. You could say it the shortened version, right? That we do at Namandabus. So home service, I think it's a great thing if striving to do it. I think people back in the day and before the war, I think a lot of people did do a daily service. Probably almost very few people do it today. It's something maybe you want to do, but you don't have to do it. I think you should just consider, though, doing something, some practice a day, reciting the Nembutsu, I think would be, and to see what it does for you, and maybe helps you. Anyway, so for what it's worth, that's my thoughts on daily service. Please join me in Gassho in reciting in Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Okay, please rise now to sing the Gatha, Ondukusan II, which you'll find at page 76 in the small Dharma school service book.
Before we start that, I just want to thank Dennis for it's a great message. It was Renyo that popularized having that morning service and using Shoshinge. So, there's reasons why we pay homage to the sentient beings on the back wall here of the Onaijin. And it is good to have a Butsudan at home. I have one word of warning. That bell is really nice. If you're caring for somebody at home, never give them that bell, ever. Just saying. Okay. Ondukusan. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Please be seated.
Are there any announcements?
Just a quick reminder that on Saturday, November 1st, is Rinban Sakamoto's retirement party. So if you haven't already registered for that or RSVP'd, please do so. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Louise Hayamizu, and I was here last week trying to get people to sign up for our Activities and Games Day, which is September the 28th from 11 till 1 o'clock. We'd like to see all of you. And actually, we had a very good sign up, so I wanted to thank you all very much, and we're looking forward to seeing you then. Thank you.
Morning, I'm Kenji Akahoshi. Wanted to announce Reverend Dr. Ken Tanaka is starting a course which he's done before, and he calls it the Fireside Chat Sessions, and they'll go over 10 months, the first Wednesday of each month starting October 4th. And so if you want information on it, I think the best way is to contact me or Kevin, and we'll give you the, I guess, the QR code so you get the information, and then you can sign up. I haven't found a good way of, having people see this sign up. So anyway, contact us and we'll email or text you the information.
So Tanaka-sensei is very well known. I think he's written a number of books, very easy to understand Buddhism. He was a minister here in the United States and then went to be a professor in Japan. I think he's retired now, and I think he still lives in Japan. So you should check it out because I think he's very interesting and, like I said, very easy to understand. Puts it into very understandable terms. So that's good. Oh, well, he'll do a closing gasho now. Oh, wait a second. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, to Reverend Jones, Organist Michael Yoshihara, AV Coordinator Brandon Uenaka. And thank you for all coming, and we will close with gasho.
Please join me in Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, everybody. Please come forward for Shoko. And once again, thank you to Dennis Akizuki for both chairing and for being our speaker today.
And we'll have, please join us for refreshments in the multipurpose room, I think. Yes, in the multipurpose room.
I like that. That's good. In case there's any confusion, there is service next Sunday, but the Monday after that, September, is closed for Labor Day. So, but there is service a week from today.